Welcome and Happy New Year. We've got some priming, we've got some welding, we've got some grinding, we've got some catching up to do in this episode of Rennch. Welcome to 2022 and the Rennch Garage, where I'm Michael. This car behind me here is a 1969 Porsche 911S that was a race car. I've converted it back to a street car. In fact, a 1971 Porsche 911 ST, which is one of the rarer Porsche race cars in the world. And I'm powering it with a twin-turbo Subaru EZ30R. So it's going to be a really fun build. It has been so far. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is I put a summary video up of the entire last year's work. It's on the channel. You can check it out right here. And I hope you enjoy it. It was the culmination of literally thousands of hours of work into 20-ish minutes in a time-lapse form. In fact, I forgot a lot of what I did on the car until I was editing the video, which took about 6 weeks. And man, we made a lot of progress. And this year is going to be the year the car gets done. Where I'm at right now is trying to get the thing ready for paint. And that is ultimately what this video is going to be about, and hopefully the next couple of videos are going to be about. First, some quick housekeeping. If you haven't already, if you go to rennch.com/high5, there are various ways you can help this very show. And one of which is the Amazon wish list, which gives me some supplies where I can build this thing. This is not a profitable YouTube channel. I don't make hundreds or tens of dollars from this channel at all yet. But hopefully sooner than later that will happen. Until then, I rely on people like you who appreciate hopefully some pretty good content and that you dig what we're doing here. Now, there's been a bit of delay on the videos because of a couple factors. Number one, it rained a ton in December. We got weeks of rain, which was awful and disruptive. Right now we're back to 75 and sunny again, which is what we pay all these taxes for in California. And number two, I am in the process of starting a new business. If you guys follow my Instagram account, which you should by going right there, check it out, and you will have seen that I have been blasting down to bare metal a number of different cars. So in October, I bought the Beast, which is this big giant GMC truck, and a dustless blasting DB500 trailer, combine the two into a company I'm calling Fresh Steel. And basically uses water and recycled glass to blast all of the paint and muck and Bondo and rust off of car chassis until they're in bare metal. And I would love your help right now. If you could subscribe to the Fresh Steel YouTube channel. It's in the first pinned comment on this video. Would love if you would do that. Maybe give a little bit of juice. If you like time-lapse videos, the entire channel is going to be time-lapse videos of all of the cars that I do. And it's very satisfying, just like the time-lapse that I did on this car. So it's super cool. Hope you dig it. In the meantime, we've got some work to do on this bad boy. What you see here is me finishing all of the prep and priming the bumpers. I had done all of that body work, and if you remember from past videos, the front bumper was split completely in half. The rear bumper was in 3 pieces, and I had to custom modify everything just to get them to fit really well. They fit awesome now, and I thought, okay, what can I do? I'm still waiting on some 3D printed parts to come in so I can finish the rear LED taillight section, and hopefully they will be in the next week or so I can finish all of the body work on the car. Everything is a push to get to paint. That is the thing I'm trying to do right now. So finishing these bumpers and priming them was a key component of what I want to do. So I'm going to be using my new dustless blasting setup to strip the paint in the frunk, in the interior, and in the engine compartment, as well as hopefully the underside of the car, because the goal is, let me get the entire thing in primer. So for this video, I'm going to first bolt the bumpers on, just because I want to see what the car looks like, kind of all gray and in primer. That'll be kind of fun. Then we're going to work on getting rid of some of the things in the front trunk area that I just don't think look good, because I want this thing to be like a really beautiful, clean, smooth type thing. and then get the interior ground down a little bit. And then in probably the next video, I'm gonna finish TIG welding the roll cage, and you'll see the whole story about that. So let's get to work getting these bumpers on the car. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Look how sick that is. All right, dude, it's kind of hard to sneak in here for the front bumper, but it's looking awesome. So neat to see it kind of in this cohesive unit for the first time. Right? It's got that lovely hips. Yeah, that looks super sick. Next thing I want to do is start addressing this front trunkle area. And you can see I've marked a few spots like this thing and these holes, and these are just areas that I want to fill in, or cut away. So probably drill out the rivets on these. I don't need these here. This is for the old fuse panel, which I've mounted in the inside of the car. So I just want to clean up this whole area, so when you pop the trunk, it just looks awesome. You know, it just looks super clean and nice. This I'm probably going to do, I'll save that for when I paint the car, but I have a kind of a cool surprise for this and this whole front trunk area. So let's get to drilling this out, grinding some stuff off, welding these holes up, and go from there. So I've got a couple of holes I have to fill, some of which are like 1 inch wide. So what I've decided to do here is I have this hole cutting kit and an old piece of scrap metal. So I'm going to clean up the metal and then cut the holes out of the metal, and then I can use them as plugs in these spots that I have to fill in. All right, I got my cleaned up piece here, and I've got my hole bit. I need 1 of these and 2 of these. And by the way, you can also, if you have washers, you can use them for this. I might actually have to for one of the sizes I need. But I wanted to use this because it's basically the same metal on the car. Plus washers have a hole that's a little bit too big for what I'm doing. Unless you have fender washers, which are actually great for this. I just don't have any handy. All right, I've got all my pieces ready to go. I've got the welder in here. Got my clamp in here, I got my welding stuff in here, and so let's weld this sucker together.
First of all, what went through my mind is how stupid am I to actually volunteer for this? It was unbelievably painful.
All right, dudes, so everything came out great. All these spots are what were holes before. I actually decided to leave this one because I might need a vent for the gas tank. Otherwise, all these spots are completely filled in. As soon as I strip this whole thing of paint and prime it, you will see how smooth it is. So the last thing we're gonna do here is weld up this gas door. And what I'm looking for here is just to make sure it's flush along the side. So I'm probably gonna tack this side first and then lift it up and make sure each of these two corners are flush as well, and then should be good to go around. The gap isn't ideal. It's like 1/8 of an inch, which is maybe a little bit too much, but the metal is rolled over like this and this. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but that's a nice Porsche. The metal's rolled over like this, so I should be able to fill in this gap and have a relatively smooth smooth transition. At that point, I'll be able to put filler over the entire thing and smooth it out. Let's weld this thing up. All right, here is the final product. It's great, it's nice and smooth. There's a little bit of a drop here, which is totally fine. I had a big gap to fill, so no big deal. Off camera, I'm actually gonna put some filler on this right now and just get it on there so the metal doesn't rust. But I would consider that a job done. That was an insanely productive 6 or 7 hours I just spent on the car. I couldn't be happier. I think the fuel filler turned out great. The MVP was that air sander, which was really an ass kicker down there. Not a lot of sex appeal in today's show. You know, I wasn't doing like big massive things, but I thought that the work we did today came out really well. It was all very necessary. and I ticked off a lot of like looming issues that I had on the car. This is pretty much ready for blasting at this point. I've got to do my roll cage in the next video, and I'll finish TIG welding that, maybe even tonight. We'll see how I do. And then I'm gonna somehow figure out a way to get this thing into my backyard and blast all of the remaining paint and gunk off the car so I can prime the entire thing, and we are gonna be good to go. So with that, thank you guys as always for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are very close to 20,000 subscribers on this channel. So if you could do me a favor, share this on other YouTube channels, on your Facebook forums, on your Pelicans, things like that, and see if we can loop over that 20K mark. In fact, if you want to share the second time-lapse video that I just put out, that is a really good way to get people interested. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.